What if the truth you've been told for years wasn't the truth at all? What if the person you trusted on TV, the one who smiled, prayed, and spoke about faith, was hiding something much deeper? That's exactly what viewers are now asking about Joanie Lamb, the face of Daystar Television. But before we go too far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We dive deep into stories like this, giving you the full picture that others avoid. Now let's get into it. Joanie Lamb recently appeared in an interview titled, The Real Joanie Lamb, and let's be honest, it felt more like a PR move than a real conversation. The whole setup was clearly designed to clean up her public image. 4 months now, Joanie has been under heavy criticism. After Jonathan Lamb, her own son, leaked audio of private conversations, many viewers started questioning who Joanie really is. That recording painted a very different picture of the woman millions thought they knew. So what did the interview actually show us? For starters, Joanie talked a lot about her past. She brought up her childhood, a bad relationship she once had, and how she wrote a letter to God asking for direction. Sounds spiritual, right? But people noticed a pattern. This way of sharing overly polished faith stories isn't new. Doug Weiss, her current husband, did something similar. Talked about giving God 30 days to change his life. Then, everything magically got better. In Joanie's story, she writes a letter to Jesus and everything shifts. Suddenly, her life starts heading in the right direction. While it sounds inspiring, critics say it feels rehearsed, almost like it was meant to sell a narrative more than share an honest testimony. One of the most emotional parts of the interview was when Joanie talked about losing Marcus, her late husband. She said she cried for 6 months. Then God told her to get her house in order. Not long after that, she married Doug Weiss. But the timeline doesn't sit right with a lot of viewers. People pointed out that Joanie paid for a honeymoon less than 10 months after Marcus's death. Some even claim she was already texting Doug just 2 to 3 months after Marcus passed away. And let's not forget, Doug was still married at the time. He only filed for divorce a few months after Marcus died. It all raises questions about honesty and timing. Was Joanie truly grieving, or was there another plan already unfolding behind the scenes? Another major part of the interview was Joanie's claim that she hasn't watched any podcasts or YouTube videos criticizing her. She says she avoids the drama. But here's the twist. Her own staff has been making response videos to those same critics, reading scripts that Joanie approved. So how does someone respond to content they supposedly never watch? This isn't the first time she's used that excuse. Joanie also said Doug Weiss isn't on social media at all. Yet they both seem fully aware of what's being said about them online. If they're truly ignoring the internet noise, why are they working so hard to manage their image? Their actions say more than their words. From deleting old videos that contradict their new story to pushing carefully crafted PR interviews, Joanie and her team seem deeply involved in shaping how the public sees them. Other voices in the faith space aren't staying silent. Laura Lynn Thompson, for example, publicly invited Joanie to come on her show and share her side. She even mentioned spending time with Joanie's son and daughter-in-law. Pastor Ray from The Unction, another outspoken critic, also extended an open invitation for Joanie to appear on his platform. But the big question is, will she accept? So far, Joanie has only gone where she can control the message. Sitting down with someone like Pastor Ray means no scripts, no soft questions, just raw, honest conversation. Some viewers have already called her out, saying she's been exposed by her own son's recordings. They believe the interview did nothing to rebuild her image. Instead, it reminded people of all the unanswered questions. For example, she never explained what lies she believes the podcasters are telling. She just said they're full of half-truths and God will deal with them. But what exactly are those lies? She never gave details. That silence leaves room for more doubt. One viewer even wrote a long comment saying they came to the interview with an open mind but left disappointed. They wanted to hear if Joanie regrets anything, what she plans to do to fix her relationship with her children, and how she views the scandal. But they got none of that. Just more polished stories and vague answers. And let's not forget the serious allegations that haven't been fully addressed. There are questions about whether Joanie tried to cover up abuse involving her granddaughter. Her silence on that matter only makes things worse. People want clear answers, not spiritual talk that dances around the issues. Joanie says she doesn't see herself as a celebrity. But that's hard to believe when she lives in a mansion, flies private jets, and spends 6 figures on a honeymoon. That's not the life of an ordinary person. That's celebrity status, no matter how you frame it. She also said something interesting, that God told her truth would win in the end. And maybe it will. But right now, many feel like they're not hearing the full truth from Joanie herself. They feel like she's hiding behind faith-based language to avoid accountability. The interview missed a real opportunity. It could have been the moment Joanie came clean, showed humility, and addressed people's real concerns. Instead, it felt like a missed chance, a script carefully designed to make her look good without dealing with the hard stuff. So where does that leave us? In a world where people are craving truth, honesty, and transparency, Joanie's interview felt like more smoke and mirrors. And that's not what viewers want. They want to hear someone say, "Yes, I made mistakes. Here's how I plan to fix them." Until that happens, the doubts will only grow. We're not here to tear people down. We're here to ask the real questions. If Joanie Lamb truly wants to clear her name and heal her reputation, she'll need to stop running from hard conversations and start facing them head-on. In the end, faith is not about perfect stories. It's about honesty, accountability, and true growth. Many of Joanie's supporters aren't looking for a spotless narrative. They're just hoping for real answers. It's not enough to talk about God's grace if you're not willing to admit your own faults. Real healing starts with truth, and until Joanie embraces that, her message may continue to feel empty. It's never too late to do the right thing. But it takes courage to face the people who feel betrayed. Joanie still has that chance. She can open up, answer questions, and rebuild trust. Not through carefully planned interviews, but through raw, unfiltered honesty. Even more, the situation is a test, not just for Joanie Lamb, but for every viewer watching. It's about whether people are willing to hold their leaders accountable or accept surface-level answers just because they come wrapped in spiritual language. When someone's actions and words don't line up, it's okay to ask hard questions. In fact, it's necessary. That's how truth wins. Supporters who still stand by Joanie may see criticism as an attack, but others see it as a call for reform. These conversations aren't easy, but they're important. They help us move forward and make space for a more honest kind of faith. One that doesn't silence concerns, but listens and responds with integrity. Some Daystar viewers have even started pulling away, saying the network no longer feels like a place of truth. They're tired of image control and staged interviews. They want leaders who will sit in the discomfort, admit their wrongs, and commit to doing better. Not just in words, but in action. Joanie can change the narrative, but she has to start with truth. People can forgive mistakes, but they struggle with dishonesty. Every day she delays, more people lose trust. And in the world of faith broadcasting, trust is everything. Maybe this is the beginning of something new. Maybe Joanie will surprise everyone, step forward, and speak plainly. Not just in controlled settings, but in places where the questions are real, the emotions are raw, and the answers actually matter. Until that day comes, we'll keep asking questions. We'll keep sharing what others are too afraid to say. And we'll keep pressing for truth. Not out of spite, but out of hope. Hope that faith leaders can be better. Hope that the truth, even when it's messy, is always worth fighting for. And that's where we'll leave it for now. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Have your thoughts on Joanie changed? Do you believe she's being honest, or is this just a cover-up? Either way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We'll keep digging, and we'll keep bringing you the truth. Until next time, stay curious, stay strong, and stay informed.